Hi, I'm Viola Rose, and I am a facilitator for Drunvalo Melchizedek's School of Remembering and Awakening the Illuminated Heart workshops. And I want to talk today about the difference between the original way that Drunvalo presented to the world of activating the Merkaba and the current way that it's taught, which is activating your heart-based Merkaba. Now, this was the original way that Drunvalo taught the activating of the Merkaba to the world was based on the Flower of Life workshop. And if you've read The Ancient Secret of the Flower of Life books, I have one here. These classic books that many people have seen and know about, he talks about a method in this book to activate your Merkaba, and it's called the Merkaba meditation. And it's a very complicated, complex way of activating the Merkaba that involves eye movements, mudras, breath work, and it's very easy to get it wrong because it's very complicated. Now, the reason that Drunvalo taught this to the world is because this isn't the way that it was originally done and is natural to do. But in the 80s, we were at a time where we weren't ready to activate our natural heart-based living Merkaba. We were too intellectual and in our minds at the time. And so Drunvalo's guidance was that teach people a synthetic way, a solution to this problem that if ascension were to happen. So if a person dies without an activated Merkaba or ascension were to happen, then if they don't have a Merkaba activated, then they will lose all their memories. And this is what keeps people in the reincarnation loop and the cycle, is because we die unconsciously and then have to be reborn again over and over until finally one day we remember our Merkaba and we're able to die consciously and go on to the next levels of existence. So if you die at the end of your life and you don't have a Merkaba, this applies. But also if ascension were to happen. Now, ascension could be a grand event, right? A lot of us feel like we're here in the planet at this time for some grand event that's going to happen. And what that actually looks like, we don't know. But it seems like it's going from the third dimension to the fourth. And so you want to have your Merkaba, which is a fourth dimensional technology, activated so that you can go consciously to the next dimensional levels. Now, usually a pole shift precedes a dimensional shift. And when the magnetic fields of the earth go down to zero, that's when that allows the poles to shift, and that usually can trigger an ascension into a dimensional shift. Now, our memories are held magnetically. There is a magnetic sheath around each brain cell. And so the first astronauts that went into outer space, they lost all their memories. There's documentation of this. Like the Russian scientists had to go and retrieve the people who were out there because everything got wiped, and they learned that our memories are held magnetically. And they can be wiped just like a computer can be wiped by heavy magnets. So they learned to kind of create these devices that these astronauts would wear so that they could maintain a facsimile or a duplicate of the Earth's magnetic field when they weren't on it. And so if the poles were to shift down to zero, a lot of people will lose their memories. And Drunvalo talks a lot about this, to wipe everything out. And then if a dimensional shift would happen, you don't have any awareness anymore. You go into sleep or you die, and then you have to start over again, even in ascension. So having the Merkaba activated is an important technology to have online. Drunvalo says that the Merkaba is the most researched subject in the entire universe, maybe not on our planet, but in general. And this is the reason why. They are interdimensional vehicles that allow us to travel interdimensionally through the void in between dimensions. Just like a note on a piano, we've got notes, and in between the notes, there's discord. Well, in between the dimensions, there's also this void. And we can go consciously through that if we have our memories intact and our consciousness intact. So very important. So he was instructed to teach people to activate their Merkaba as a meditation. But because it was synthetic, it's a meditation that you had to do every day. But it was a good solution. It was like a Band-Aid solution to get you there. Well, then back in 2011, Drunvalo was given the guidance and the thumbs up that now it was time for everybody to activate their natural heart-based living Merkaba, which is the way it's always been intended to be, that we have around us the seed of a Merkaba. The star tetrahedrons are there. They're just not spinning. The engine is not turned on. And so we can activate our Merkaba. And once you do that, it is a one-time thing. It's permanent once you activate your living Merkaba, and you can't get it wrong because it's not something that you're creating. And it's something that is alive in you. And how this is done is a whole different type of method of doing it. And so this is the updated way to do it. This is what's current, and we're ready for it. And it is much stronger and much more potent than the old way of activating the Merkaba. And so Drunvalo invited all his facilitators to start teaching the new way of doing the Merkaba. Some people decided to stay with the old way. I think they're just used to it, and maybe they've built their life around it. But the teaching has evolved, and now it is time to do this from our heart so that we are sovereign, we're free. We've got this technology, it's alive in us, and it's not a synthetic field, and it's permanent. And how we do this is lining up the heart to the mind in a very specific way. It is Tantra of the heart. The heart learns to make love to the mind. The polarities become reversed, whereas for most people, the mind is in charge and running the show. The mind is always meant to be in service to the heart. So the heart is now in charge and is making love to the mind. We learn meditation techniques with the tongue on the roof of the mouth in a very specific spot to stimulate alpha waves in the brain, which open the third eye. And we connect the heart to the mind, open the third eye, and we learn how to actually activate this heart-based Merkaba from the heart. And then we learn how to program it, nourish it with prana, and we're ready. We're ready for whatever may come. And once you've got that activated, you're free. Drunvalo says this is your last life on earth. If you choose, a lot of people choose to come back as volunteers, but you don't need to because you have this permanent living Merkaba field. And so I get a lot of questions about this. What's the difference between these types of Merkabas? They are so different. And yes, the end result is the same, but the people who have had the old Merkaba and then get the new Merkaba, the permanent living one, talk about the difference of it. Like, it's just like the next level. It's, this smooth ship, and then the old one feels kind of clunky in comparison. And so it's kind of just next level technology. So I hope that makes sense for you. My website is violarose.com. I'm teaching these workshops regularly online and in person in the Sedona, Arizona area. If you want to activate your heart-based Merkaba and to learn to live truly from the heart, I am available for that, and would love to be in that field with you. Okay, much love to you all.